Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Many men still don't get that women are visual. And this is incredible. This is incredible. I've been like promoting the body game and getting some style, all the visual stuff for over 20 years. And you still get some men don't get, hey, maybe I need to fix up. In fact, you get a lot of guys, even some guys who try to teach other men how to get women. They'll talk about everything but the visual. They're like, well, if you have this personality and all of that stuff. I'm like, no, the personality part with women only comes in after she likes what you look like. I mean, we got to really just start facing that, you know? Even when you see a woman with a man that she calls ugly, even in that situation, she still like the visual. I'm going to tell you why. Some women like ugly. It's that simple. It's that simple. And they even, because the fact that they can mention that the dude is ugly or the dude is fine or whatever means they paying attention to what he look like. If the visual didn't matter, they wouldn't mention it at all. They'd be like, if you say, well, how he look to you, be like, if it didn't matter to them, they'd be like, it don't matter. But they always mention it. It always matters. They're always paying attention to it. They always paying attention to it. I've talked about this before, but this is something that keeps coming up. I keep seeing this. A lot of guys don't realize it. In fact, if you listen to how women talk, they will always make a comment about something visual on the man. Always, which means they're looking. The only exception might be a blind woman. And even her, she's still making a something based on what she might feel or what she might hear, and definitely what she might smell. But today I'm just talking about the visual, and a lot of men don't get that. So it's like you get men who will say, well, let me get this money together, or I don't have to have a good haircut, or I don't have to hit the gym or something. I'll just show her I'm a strong man and all of that. Oh, that's cool. I mean, maybe if y'all personalities click, she might like you as a friend, but she don't get off. Because I'm gonna tell you what, if women truly were not visual, if they weren't visual, the marriage rates would be a lot better. The marriage rates would be a lot better. The relationship thing would get a lot better. Because despite what women try to say publicly, and this goes across races, because I've seen women of other races say the same thing. Most of them would find a guy to click with their personality. Most of them would find a guy. Because, see, first of all, most of them will still have a man approach them because we have no problems admitting that we know we visual. But a lot of guys ain't getting that. They visual, too. That's what the determination thing is. You talk to, and I found this talking with thousands of women going back to the 70s. Thousands. It's hard pressed to find. I think, in fact, I can't think of I can't think of one woman who didn't have any guys approaching her. Even one woman who was just, I won't use the U word, ugly. I'll just say her face. Well, another U word, very unfortunate. You felt bad for her. You felt bad. She had a guy trying to get with her hard. She had a guy. I've seen a couple women like that, so you know how we do. But these women always have like maybe 2 or 3 male heterosexual friends around them that they click with personality wise. But if you were to catch them and you promise not to tell on them, and they that type trying to hide, and you say, well, how come you ain't get with them? They'd be like, they ain't attracted to the guy visually. They're not turned on by him visually. They're not stimulated by him visually. Understand something. A woman can look at a man and have an orgasm. She can have an orgasm. That's actually been studied. That was studied at a particular university. I have to try to find that university again, but they actually studied that. Like a woman can look at it. And in fact, there's still been other studies that talked about women going crazy over erotic images and everything, just like a man. I like these women's brains are being studied, and they having the same reaction, same energetic reaction as a man is having. But many men don't get that. Many men are like, well, why these women ain't doing it? Or why these women ain't doing this or that? And it's like, well, you need to look better too. You know? And that's something a man can control. That's why I'm like big on telling men to hit the gym or doing some type of exercise. You know? And getting a haircut ain't that hard to get. A few dollars, and then just dressing in a clean way. I talk about a lot of that in Nice Guys and Players. A lot of it is like many men, if they just keep halfway decent, they don't have to be super muscular or, you know, looking like a model in the face. But many men can still get, it's not even can get women just because they in decent shape and their clothes are clean. And, you know, they just go to the barber shop like every week or every 2 weeks or something like that. Because the women are checking that out. Because another thing is funny, many women, this has been said publicly, even on some TV shows, both like news type of shows, talk shows, and even on some, comedy shows. Women can take one look at a man, they know whether or not they're going to date him in a few seconds. Now, that's the only thing they can do that on is his visual, how visual he is. That's the only thing they can do that on. They can't tell his personality. You know, even if he's walking confidently and he's presenting a certain image, they going on the image. They still going on the image. You know. And they'll even say, you listen to a woman talk, they'll say he looks like a certain age, or he looks like he does something, or he looks important. That's visual. Listen to how they talk. It's always on a visual. It's one of the things, but see, what you have is a men going on what they might have had back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean like we talking 50s, 40s, where a woman had to just put up with whatever man that, you know, showed he was willing to take care of her or something. It ain't like that anymore. And this is something I said publicly. The female gaze has been freed. It's been freed, so they can be as visual as they want. Because even when you got some dudes talking about, well, you know, if they lose these jobs or whatever, but a lot of them still got something to do with, you know, they still making money. They'll find a way. They still making money. And really, and this might be something I might do on my business channel, like people talking about automation and stuff. Men are actually scheduled to be screwed over more by automation than women. You know, men are probably more likely to be screwed over. It's mostly men in like the trucking industry. So if that becomes automated, boom. So that's another conversation. But many men have to just understand that once they understand the visual part, and a lot of attention can be just gained on the visual. And, you know, stop worrying about what it should be. You know, and that's just really, and ultimately, that's just to get your foot in the door. Then that's when the personality stuff comes in. Just understand that they visual first, because they looking at the frame. They looking at your frame. They looking at whether they want your, especially when they're young, they looking at whether they want your particular traits for their children. They like your smile, head shape, height, skin complexion, muscularity, or whatever. They thinking, hey, that's for the kids, and that gets into some deeper stuff. But they can only tell that if they look at you. You know? Because I always understand at the deepest level with any woman is the desire to reproduce. I talked about that in sexual chemistry. That's like the ultimate. If a woman look at you, say she want to have your baby. Not just have it because she had to marry you and, you know, that one starfish time something slipped through. Like she look at you, say, look, I want to have your baby. That's like the ultimate thing. But she's basing it on physicality. She ain't thinking in terms of like how the personality gonna be, because the kid's personality gonna be different anyway. But she thinking in terms of the physicality, and she can only tell that by looking at you. All right. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and many blessings.